Hey guys, welcome back to Adventures in Aviators. Today we are going to do our first hiking guide from our new home here in the island nation of Mauritius. For those of you just starting to follow the channel, we are excited to bring you all kinds of nature adventures all around the world. And today we're going to do the third highest peak in all of Mauritius, and that is Pouce. So in case you don't know where Mauritius is, it is just off the coast of Madagascar, not especially close to Madagascar, but we're out in the Indian Ocean. And when we do our hiking guides, we cover 5 different categories. We cover location, facilities, plants and wildlife, trail traffic, and finally the payoff. And for our Mauritius hikes, we're going to be rating on a scale of 1 to 5 dodo birds.
5 dodo birds.
So where is Pouce? It is actually centrally located pretty well in the middle of the island, not too far from the capital of Port Louis. We decided to shoot the center of the island and come down on M2, but the area that you're looking for is going to be B47, and there's a sharp turn at B47, but right before that point, you're actually going to turn north. And there's a small little road there. There are some signs in the area for Pouce, and shortly after you make that turn, you will see an actual map of the area. There are actually several hikes in this region, and then you can go to the end of the road there, and that is where you will park. Since the location is nice and centrally located for everyone, not making it too far for anyone to have to drive, I'm going to give this 4 out of 5 dodo birds. So speaking of parking, when it comes to facilities, there is a small parking area here, but we had several folks just parked along the side of the road. We were fortunate and were able to snag one of the spots as some folks were leaving, but there are some parking spots here, but not too many. We actually ended up going on a holiday. It was National Day here in March. And so the fact that there were only this many cars was actually a little surprising to me. So it's not the most popular hike, but certainly people know about it and people go at all times. They do have signs along the way. It's very easily marked, so that is one really nice thing. But there are definitely not any toilets anywhere along the path. So be prepared to rough it in that regard, and do not expect toilets anywhere at the base or up on the mountain. When it comes to plants and wildlife, there's a variety of terrain that you're going to make your way through on this hike, so you're going to see a variety of plant life and animal life. There's some wet areas, and the weather here changes very quickly, and so just be aware that even if it looks nice when you leave your house, it might not be all that nice by the time you get there, or vice versa. When we first arrived, it was misty and cool and wet, and we're like, gosh, maybe we should call it off, but we went ahead and powered through, and by the time we got up there, it was nice and sunny. So just know that that is ever-changing up here in the mountains in Mauritius. Especially early on, there's going to be some water kind of coming down on the path, so I was glad that I had my boots. Michelle was in her shoes, and that maintained as we made our way back down as well. It was still wet in those areas, kind of marshy, some forest, and so it comes with forest creatures. We've got some centipedes, we've got lots of snails in this area. Oh, too hot for TV. All kinds of beautiful plants as you make your way through some forested areas, especially early on before it kind of opens up towards the top. But you are in the tropics, you are kind of all around dense jungle at various points, so be ready for that. And as we arrived at the top and we were enjoying some of the views, we saw some beautiful ginger flowers, among others. So then right near the top, when we're having a quick snack and deciding whether or not we want to go all the way up to the top, suddenly a family of monkeys appears. And we knew monkeys were on the island. We hadn't yet seen one. And all of a sudden, here comes a whole group of monkeys, definitely looking for free handouts from the hikers. I will just say, be mindful of the monkeys. They can take stuff off your person. I've seen in other places, monkeys take people's glasses, they take their phones. So just be careful with the monkeys. I wouldn't recommend feeding them, but I think definitely some other people do. But what a cool thing. So there's just all kinds of cool nature on this path. And for that reason, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 dodo birds. So trail traffic, again, we were here on a holiday, and we only saw probably, 2 to 3 dozen people over the whole course of our entire hike. And we definitely took our time with this hike. You know us, we like to take all the pictures, take all the videos. So we gave ourselves plenty of opportunity to see people, but really I was actually quite surprised and pleased with the few number of people that we saw. Now again, this is part of a series of treks along these mountains that you can do. So as you go up towards the top, you have an opportunity to go left and then continue along some of the ridges of the mountains there, or you can go up Pouce and go right, and that's what we did. And so while it is popular and easy to get to, there were not a ton of people there while we visited, and so I would recommend it for a nice hike that doesn't have all that many people all around. So of course it depends on what time of day you go. The later you wait, the more people you're going to see, but because of the few number of people that we saw, I'm going to give this 3 out of 5 dodo birds. And so finally we come to the payoff. What is this hike about? Well, I tell you what, there's a variety of terrain that you're going to be on. There's some marshy areas, there's some solid rock areas. Be mindful of the wet rock areas. Those can probably be the most treacherous, where you can slip and there's not a lot of cushion there if you do fall. So just be mindful, take your time as necessary, but there are views and different kinds of views all throughout this hike, and we really enjoyed this hike at Pouce. You can go all the way up to the top of the mountain. We did not. There's a landing with almost 360-degree views near the top, but the last kilometer or so gains significant elevation, and that is like scrambles, hands and feet. We watched several people turn around. We saw other people from a distance that were kind of struggling and really having to take their time going up there. But you can make it. The path continues on all the way up to the peak and to the summit. But there's a great area just short of that that is really accessible to most people. There's plenty of rocks along this path. It's not easy hiking by any stretch, but there's a clear path that marks all the way up. So you're not going to get lost or anything like that in this area, and the views are spectacular. Now again, the weather can change very quickly. When we even just got to the first turn, and there's the opportunity to go left and take a different hike, we couldn't see the summit, and we thought we weren't really going to go much further. But then all of a sudden the weather broke, and within 10 minutes we could see the top, and it was clearing, and we had really beautiful skies the rest of our hike. And so give yourself a little bit of time up there, because maybe the weather will change for the better if it's not looking very good at the moment. But also be mindful to bring some of the gear in case it does start to rain. So rain showers are certainly a possibility here, so make sure you do have some rain gear. Make sure that your footwear is going to be okay if it gets wet. I can see this hike becoming a bit treacherous and really messy when it rains, and so just be mindful of the weather when you choose to do this hike. But it was beautiful views of Port Louis, beautiful views of some of the other peaks all going south and to the east. I definitely recommend this. The payoff was excellent. In fact, I'm going to give it 5 out of 5, the illustrious 5 dodo birds.
5 dodo birds.
So I hope you check out this hike if you're in Mauritius. If you've done this hike, please comment down below and give some other details or suggestions or tips for those of us who have not done this hike before. Again, we dedicate this channel to just beautiful creation, and we love to help you get out and explore this beautiful planet that we're all on together. If you haven't subscribed, please do that, or hit that like button down there as well, and we will see you next time.